Hi everyone, my name is Angela and I am partnered with Crystal this week and we are the No Smartphone Zone team. So I'm going to begin. On my slide, I have my time log advertisement. It's my short 2-minute video advertising a little bit about what is on what I'd like to highlight on my log. So hopefully you'll get some time to watch that. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my weekly time log. So here we are on the right side of my screen. I invested quite a few hours reading through the content and then going through and seeing what I could implement in my own Canvas modules. So I had to take a look from the outside in and kind of look at it from a different perspective. I really wanted to focus and make sure that I added all of the pieces of the puzzle. I wanted to pay attention specifically to the logical and easy to follow sequence that I was providing the students. I wanted to make sure that it was organized and easy for the learner to navigate through. So I kind of had to take a couple of steps back to make sure that I successfully did that throughout my modules. I worked with Liza for our Canvas course, and she worked on modules 1 and 2, and I was responsible for modules 3 and 4. So our course is titled An Introduction to 3D Panoramic Imaging for Dental Assisting Students. So that's what I'm going to be sharing is my progress on my modules. So initially, with my midterm, I had a very bare bones format outline, if you will, of how I wanted my modules to look. So I initially started adding all of the content to it, and then, like I said, just making sure that it flowed nicely, that it came across as easy to follow for the learner to navigate through. So I just have some screenshots of my module 3 here. I dove in a little bit deeper into the LTI tools that I was utilizing. So I have a lot of interactive elements within my course. And as you guys know, that we learned about access assessment, usability, and those were the main topics of the week. So this kind of went into the assessment aspect of it. Okay, so for my H5P LTI, when I did a little bit of further investigation and really kind of looking at it and seeing how I could implement this tool in my Canvas course, I created, and here's the screenshot, but I'm going to show you what I created. So this is for my module 4, which is on communicating with the patient during a scan. So it's called Guide the Patient Through the Imaging Process. And what I have here is an interactive drag and drop where I have a couple of different scenarios, if you will, where the student has to determine whether this statement would be said before the scan takes place, during the scanning process, or after the scan. And so the way it works is they would just click and then drag whatever option they felt was correct. So I thought this would be a really fun interactive activity to add to my module 4. So that was my H5P activity. So that kind of goes into what we learned this week about assessment. So it allows the student to do a self-analysis, a self-assessment, and just make sure that they're understanding the content that they've learned about, and so they're able to apply this in a critical thinking, apply their critical thinking skills. Um, we also met, Crystal and I met on Friday just to discuss some things, our progress, some review our deliverables and our progress, like I said, some challenges and work through some of those things together. So that was productive. And then I also utilized another LTI within my Canvas module, and I used Edpuzzle for this particular portion. So I utilized a video, a YouTube video within Edpuzzle. And when the student plays the video, mute it. So this is going over this scanning equipment. And so we have Dr. Klim here, and he is discussing the importance of, of the scans, taking the scans, and the way that he utilizes that in his practice. So I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward some of this. So where you see this little this little mark here, that's where the video is going to pause. And when it pauses, we're going to have a multiple choice question come up. I was trying to speed it up, but I guess it's not going to cooperate. But it's only about a minute or so into the video. So right now he's discussing how he utilizes it and what he likes, what he looks for, particularly with 3D imaging. So the learner is watching the video. As you can see, it's only about a 4.5 minute, not even 5 minute video. So right about here, it's going to pause the video. And then it's going to go into a multiple choice question. So the student has to be paying attention to the video and has to be engaged in what they're learning and they're listening to. So for instance, this multiple choice question, according to Dr. James Klim, in the video, what is one of the clinical uses of 3D cone beam imaging? And so I have some options here. Three are incorrect and one is a correct option. So then the student has the option to, if they didn't catch that information, they have the option to rewatch. And if they feel confident in their choice, they can hit the submit button. And this can be easily embedded and works well within the LMS. And so that will help garner that analytic information that the teacher can track and make sure that they're heading toward mastery of the concept. However, with my free version, I did run into a bit of a snag um, as far as embedding that and utilizing those analytics, that embedding the actual video into my LMS. So what I had to do there is I had to create a course within Edpuzzle and then embed that course into my module. So that's just what I have here in a screenshot. I have it circled in pink to show you where I placed my Edpuzzle course. So aside from that, I mean, I think it worked really well, and I plan to utilize this in my classes because I think it's a good interactive element. And then once again, it's about self-assessment, right? Leading up to mastery. So I really like that. In addition, I chose to include some question banks to promote consistency, integrity, and active student engagement. So I included a for my module 4, a question bank that I could draw from. I have some multiple choice questions and true false questions, and this I could use throughout the course. I could use it as a no stakes quiz. I could use it at the end for um, an evaluation. So I like that there are options. And so that's just a way that I can ensure that I'm meeting those learning objectives. So I think that is going to wrap up my portion of this recording. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and pass it along to Crystal. Thank you, everyone.
That was awesome. Thank you, Angela. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Crystal, and this is my presentation on what Mary and I have been working on for our module. Mary is in charge of modules 3 and 4, and I'm in charge of modules 1 and 2. And so let's take a look at my weekly log to begin with. Here is just a reminder that our Canvas code and link will be coming soon as we are continuing to work on this course. If you would like to log in as a student and view what we have done, here is the login information. Please use this email, not your own email, and please use this password. So I will demonstrate to you really quickly how that can be done. So here we go. You can log in here with the email that I have provided. One way that you can do it is just copy the email, paste it here, and then you have to type in the actual passcode, demo_access, double check, log in, and here it is. Here is the course that you will have access to. So please take time to do that whenever you get a chance if you would like to view our course. All right, now as I continue sharing my log, I did put in a significant amount of time just finishing modules 1, in addition to reading all the helpful information that was provided in our reading. And all my reading notes are bookmarked here on the log for your view if you'd like to see any of the ideas that stood out to me and how I have incorporated them into this module and how I will continue to use them throughout this course or throughout my instructional design journey. Now, to share, these are just a few of the articles that stood out, 9 ways to make your course easier to navigate. And I use some of these tips as well. To read or not to read was really helpful, how important it is not just to have text, but also to have visuals that will be very beneficial in the online world. And then another course, 6 essential graphic design principles to guide your e-learning course design. And when we're designing e-learning courses, it's always very beneficial to have an outline. So I went ahead and uploaded one of our outlines that we started with at the very beginning for this course. Showing what I would be working on and then what Mary would be working on. And then as we have progressed, we have added to this outline based on what it is that we're doing in our own individual module. Another thing that I focused on this week was to make sure that I added additional standards for this module. I didn't just have the QM or NSQ standards. I wanted to make sure that I added some nutrition standards as well. And those standards were taken from the Accreditation Council for Education in Nutrition and Dietetics. So we're not certified by them, but we are using their standards to guide us as we're going through this course. And these are the specific standards that pertain to Module 1, the one that I just finished, in addition to how I incorporated them, whether it be through text or video or pictures. The other thing that I will show you is the reflection page that the learners will be filling out that I created as well. And then I also created a video. This is a welcome video to Module 1. Instead of just having text and having the readers get lost in text and not really sure what to do, this is just a visual and audio that will help them to be able to understand what the course is about and to just see something new and hear something new. So I'll play just a little bit of it so that you can see how engaging it is, talking about time management.
In today's fast-paced world, managing our time well is crucial for personal growth. In this module, we'll explore how to use time effectively while integrating the New Start principles.
So exciting. I love these videos. And then I also created another video within Module 1. It's not on the home page for Module 1, but it is within one of the assignments that they have to focus on. Here I have an infographic about what New Start is for the learner. So I not only have text, but I also have pictures. I have infographics and videos to keep them engaged and to keep this course fun. Okay, we also received some feedback from Dr. Elwood with implementing the plate method and where that whole idea came from instead of just talking about the plate method or showing a picture of what it is to be helpful to the learners so that they can look at their plate and see if it's the way that it should be. She mentioned that we should talk a little bit about the history. So here is just our outline and our rough draft so far with gathering information on that, in addition to responding to the suggestions that she made for our syllabus. So here's our syllabus if you'd like to view it. Um, yeah, it was pretty exciting creating it. And so we made sure to take some time, Mary and I, to meet so that we can respond and make the changes that were suggested to us. So here is my usability checklist, and I spent a couple of days just looking at this, and the dates are up here at the top. In addition to what it is that we focused on, I put yes to answer the questions, and or not applicable if it didn't apply to what we were focusing on at the moment. So as I mentioned before, the reading notes are at the bottom. This is my usability checklist. And to show you the course very easily, I went ahead and created a document for you to view the screenshots in Canva. So I'll go ahead and show that right now. So here you have the document. Um, and you can see that our course is very clean. Specifically focusing on simplicity, which was highlighted in one of the articles that I read. And we want to keep it very simple and organized so that the learner is not overwhelmed with where to look and what they need to do. This is our welcome page with a clear Start Here button where they can click on and they're directed to the module. We have the syllabus for them to view online or download and print off, whatever works best for them. Now in module 1, it's the title, the font, and everything is very clear because we want it to be accessible for all learners. All the videos and pictures have alt text. If it doesn't show up, they know exactly what it is. And there are steps within the module. So module 1 has 5 steps. They click on step 1 and they're taken to the first assignment, which will say module 1.1. And if you notice our pictures, they are of real people because we want them to be challenged academically and for them to learn, but we also want them to be involved emotionally and be encouraged spiritually. So we have different images that will evoke different emotions and that will be very encouraging as they're going through learning about New Start and learning how to manage their time well. All of our submit reflections or submit assignments is the same color, same font on at the end of the page in the same location so that we can decrease stress as they're going through the the module. And we don't want the learners to be overwhelmed in any way. And at the bottom of every page, they can return to the Module 1 welcome page where they will have all the steps. So Module 1.2 will be, of course, step 2, followed by a video and explanation, infographic, whatever it is that they need. And there's a pink line here because I was viewing this in student mode. Here we have Module 3 where we have incorporated an LTI learning tool interoperability, and that tool will be Nearpod that we have included there. And then they will be uploading a video here as part of the discussion. And then I have a recap in module 1.5. So every module has a recap. And as you can see, submit reflection here, return to module 1 welcome page. So I've definitely tried to make sure that I keep everything nice and organized and visually appealing, emotionally empowering. And Mary and I look forward to continuing working on this project, and we look forward to any feedback or encouragement that you may have. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our video, and we hope you have a wonderful remainder of the week.